Jody, I want to bring up another date. January 10th, 2002. You fought Bob Probert once each period that game. What was the lead up to that? What was your mindset going through the game? Take us through that adventure.
Well, that was, I'll tell you what, that was the moment where I was probably most scared of my career, because Bob Probert was the guy. And, he was later in his career, but I got put on the ice with him. I remember the game was on in Canada, coast to coast on TSN on the network. And I knew the boys were going to be watching back home. And I was standing next to Bob Probert in a TV timeout. And I remember clearly thinking, wait till next shift to ask him. Right, Biz? You could always think, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. You understand that. But so I was content with that. And then I heard myself say, do you want to go? And I was like, no, it was just like I was struggling with it. You know what I mean? So he heard me ask him, do you want to go? He looks at me with he's got these beady black eyes. God rest his soul. I mean, he's passed along. But he looked through me and said, I don't care. And I was like, okay, I'm done. First of all, I was hoping he was going to say, no, I'm not going to fight you, kid. But he's like, I don't care. And I was like, oh, my goodness, this is really going to happen. So this is the first fight. We're in Chicago. Not a lot of fans there at the time. And they still beat the drum, though. Every time he threw a punch, they'd beat the drum. And I knew that. So I was like, I just don't want to hear that drum too many times. And I don't want the lights to go out, get KO'd. So we fight. I'm fighting scared. And anytime I lost a fight or I ended up not feeling good about it, on the way to the box, I said to the guy that I'd fought, I said to Probert, we're going again. We're going again. We're going again. We got to do that again. And I said it 50 times, I bet, to him while we were in the penalty box. He didn't look at me once. But second period comes, and I'm on the ice, and we collide, and I look, and he's got his gloves off, and he's ready to go. We go again. But this time I grab him really good, and I actually cut him. So, this is the second period. So now I fought Probert twice. I remember going back to the locker room, and the two locker room attendants are still there in Chicago to this day. And every time I see them, we have a chuckle, because I walked in, and they were like, you just beat up Bob Probert. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't good. This is bad, because we got to play him again. I got to play him.
There's still another period.
I got to go back out there for the third. So they're like, do you want a Gatorade, a towel? I'm like, no, I don't want anything. I just want to sit here. So the guys come in. I remember Tyler Wright, and the guys are like, you just beat up. I'm like, let's not talk about this. Because I heard if he ever loses a fight or gets cut, he will get you back the next day, the next minute, the next month. It doesn't matter. He'll get you. So I got to get ready for the third period. And I'm on the bench, and Dave King finally throws me out, and Probert's out there. It's a face-off again. And I get over the boards, and Kinger goes, get out there, Jody, but don't fight him. And so I stop, and I look back at the bench, and I'm like, Kinger, I got to fight him. He goes, well, don't take an extra 2 minutes. I'm like, what does that mean? Okay. So I go over. Bob Probert cannot wait to get at me. His winger sees me. I hop on the ice, the right winger. He automatically just looks. He sees me. He skates across. Proby comes over. And then we go again. And, I survived it. I was happy about that. But the worst part of the story is we had to play him again 2 nights later in Columbus. So I had to fight him again in the first period of that game in Columbus. But I survived it. It was probably the moment without Twitter and everything else. It was on TSN. It kind of gave me a name. So I thank him for that. But it was the longest night of my life.